Good afternoon, everyone. My name is April Marie G. Nillos of BSBA 4A, and I'm the last reporter of Group 3. My topic is all about performance management around the world. Performance management is a global phenomenon, and organizations all over the world are implementing various types of performance management systems. I will discuss examples of how systems are implemented in different countries. As a preview and to highlight the increasing importance of performance management globally, consider the following results from recent research relating to 10 specific countries. Performance management in Mexico. Performance management has become increasingly popular since the 1970s. Economic development in Mexico over the last 2 decades has contributed to an attractive environment for business investment and growth. Contrasting with the endemic economic instability and crisis of the past, Mexico experiences a rather stable economic environment today. Performance management in the United Kingdom. Performance management in the United Kingdom has been affected by several factors, including an emphasis on cost-effectiveness and the developmental purpose of performance management. In the United Kingdom is an established organizational practice and is clearly influenced by broader societal issues such as socioeconomic, political, and legal trends. Performance management in France. Performance management in France faces unique contextual issues such as legal requirements to invest in employee training and development and the need to emphasize individual accountability. Once again, performance management systems are not implemented in a vacuum, and it is important to consider the broader environment when designing and implementing a system. Performance management in Germany. Performance management in Germany has been affected by the established practice of long-term employment relationships. Thus, performance management systems emphasize long-term goals and usually do not have a short-term focus. In spite of this unique feature, systems share some similarities with France, given their membership in the European Union, which provides a common legal framework for many labor-related issues. Performance management in Turkey. Performance management in Turkey is evolving rapidly given its official candidacy for European Union membership. Negotiations began in 2005, and it is likely that Turkey will become a European Union member by around 2015. So it took 10 years for Turkey to become a member of European Union. Performance management is a fairly novel issue in Turkey, but almost 80% of firms in Turkey are using some type of system. Performance management in India. The India economy has been on overdrive since the early 1990s, and there is intense international business activity, including a significant increase in foreign direct investment going into India as well as India firms going abroad. Nevertheless, the traditional paternalistic values do not seem to be changing, and they pose a challenge for the implementation of performance management systems in which the supervisor serves as a coach instead of as a boss. Performance management in China. From the founding of the socialist state in 1949 until the 1980s, performance management systems in China emphasize mostly attendance and skills. Important issues to consider for successful implementation of performance management systems in China include respect for age and seniority and the emphasis on social harmony. Unlike here in the Philippines, if you age in 60 years old above, some are forcibly get retirement by their company, even though they are still can work more because here, their mindsets that seniors can do anything unlike if they are young. Performance management in South Korea. Work relationships in South Korea are hierarchical in nature and emphasize the importance of groups over individuals. Mostly, recently, the establishment of democratic government in 1987 and the Asian financial crisis of 1997 affected organizational practices substantially. Specifically, the financial crisis led many organizations to adopt what in Korean called Yunbunje. Example, merit-based systems. What is merit-based system? It is the process of promoting and hiring government employees based on their ability to perform a job rather than political connections. Performance management in Japan. Although Japanese firms relied on lifetime employment and seniority as a key organizational practices, more recently firms also consider the importance of new knowledge acquisitions. For example, competency modeling. What is competency modeling? It is a framework for defining the skills, knowledge, and behavior requirements of a job. It analyzes and describes ranges of abilities and skills a company needs to gain a competitive advantage and has become increasingly popular. In general, performance management systems in Japan tend to emphasize behaviors to the detriment of results. Performance management in Australia. The Australian economy has made an important shift from manufacturing to service, and there are important demographic changes in the workforce, including an increased presence of women and members of ethnic minority groups. The legal framework in Australia is similar to that in the United States and the United Kingdom. So much like the United States and the United Kingdom, performance management systems tend to include documentation of performance, considerations regarding equal opportunity, and due process issues. This brief overview provides us some information regarding performance management systems around the world. Although there is a common challenge to align individual and organizational goals and enhance the performance of individuals and groups, the way these goals are achieved is influenced by both organizational and societal contextual issues. Thus, these issues should not be ignored when implementing performance management system. And let's watch this video of performance management.
HR Basics is a series of short lessons designed to highlight what you need to know about a particular human resource management topic. In today's HR Basics, we explore performance management, discussing the development of great tools, ensuring feedback, and the critical role of documentation. Performance management refers to the processes that ensure an organization connects mission with the work of its employees. Performance management involves two related activities. One, evaluating the performance of employees against the standards set for them, and two, helping them develop action plans to improve their performance. Outcomes of effective performance management include clarifying job responsibilities and expectations, enhancing individual and group productivity, developing employee capabilities through effective feedback and coaching, driving behavior to align with the organization's values, goals, and strategy, providing a basis for making human resource decisions, and finally improving communication between employees and managers. Performance management tools include appraisal forms, oftentimes referred to as performance reviews or other terms. Your performance tools must be relevant to organizational outcomes that you seek to achieve. Appraisal forms and process documents must be tailored to an organization's mission, vision, and values. When developing a performance evaluation form, do your homework. Find evaluation forms from similar organizations or organizations that share your philosophy of performance management. Review of these characteristics can help you develop great forms that are tailored to your organization. Competency-based performance appraisals make a clear connection between employee behaviors, their knowledge, skills, and abilities, and the mission, vision, and values of your organization. Individual and team competencies should be rated against organizational values. Again, make sure to reinforce your organizational language and terminology for all aspects of the process, and make specific reference to competencies, values, and descriptions of those things most important to your organization. To connect mission to work, every performance appraisal tool should be directly tied to an employee's job description. It's up to you to decide what elements should be included in your performance appraisal tools. However, there are standard elements of performance tools that every organization should consider. They're listed here. First, demographic information, identifying employees. Then, a standardized rating scales selected to reflect the goals of your organization, most commonly a clear 5-point scale. Job-related assessment of performance based on specific job-related criteria and concrete examples of performance issues. And then fourth, self-evaluation encouraging active participation of employees, engaging them in the process. 5. SMART goals, providing for clear definition and follow-through of desired outcomes. And 6th and finally, employee development, ensuring an interactive process regarding training and employee growth. These standard elements will create a user-friendly and useful performance appraisal tool for your organization. Now let's talk about feedback, which is essential to any strong performance management system. Both positive and constructive feedback should occur as soon as possible. No performance feedback, whether it be positive or negative, should be left to an annual performance meeting. I often say there should be no surprises in these meetings. It's critical to be specific when providing any performance feedback. Clearly and concisely state the feedback. Support the feedback with facts and job-related examples, and focus on behaviors, not judgments. Here are some quick tips for providing positive and constructive feedback. In positive feedback, thank and recognize frequently. People like to hear that they're doing a good job. Individual recognition and praise should be given in a way the employee prefers, so understand employee preferences. Recognize behavior by communicating how it's helping you, the team, the company, and themselves. And encourage continued behaviors. Make sure they know what to do in the future. Now, the more difficult constructive feedback. Be prompt with constructive feedback. The sooner you provide it, the more likely the individual will connect the feedback to their behavior. Deliver constructive feedback in a private setting, at a scheduled time, in a well-prepared manner. Discuss specific behaviors, not personal traits. You have shown up late for the project meetings is better than you are not committed to this project. Describe what you saw and heard, not your judgment or evaluation. Your presentation ran 45 minutes, 15 minutes overtime, is better than you did not prepare properly for the meeting. Finally, clearly define changes you want to see made and desired expectations and outcomes. Next time, limit your presentation to fit the scheduled time slot. HR professionals recognize that strong documentation is critical in performance management and managing employee relations issues. Their challenge is to teach managers how to document performance issues in an appropriate manner. The purpose of documenting performance problems isn't just to protect the employer in case of a lawsuit. It's also to show the steps we've taken to help someone be successful. Performance documentation must tell a story, rooted in fact, painting a descriptive picture of the employee behavior with words. Good documentation creates credibility for the employer by showing that employees are treated in a fair and consistent manner. However, some common mistakes in documentations are made. Making vague, unclear statements about what the employee needs to do to improve. Adding personal attacks or subjective comments. And providing little or no evidence or fact to support decisions of discipline or termination. Follow these guidelines for effective documentation. 1. Know your audience. Obviously, it's the employee, but the audience is broader, including decision makers, agencies, lawyers, maybe a judge or a jury. Write for the reader's perspective. 2nd, be factual. Learn the facts and describe the who, what, where, when, and why. Paint a word picture of the facts. 3. Describe expectations. Don't simply state show up on time. Instead say your job begins at 8 a.m., at which time you should be at your desk ready to answer client calls. Number 4. Describe what needs to change. Describe the job-related conduct, not the individual. Articulate how the behavior impacts others and the organization. 5. Avoid judgments. Don't use words such as always or never. They're broad, which can easily be disputed by employees. Number 6. Avoid vagueness. Avoid vague phrases that could produce grounds for discrimination. Number 7. Include both sides. Include the employee's explanation for their conduct and behavior. Showing multiple perspectives demonstrates fairness in the process. Number 8. Create an action plan. Include deadlines for the employee to use. Don't just say, we expect you to improve immediately. Instead say, we expect your report to be submitted by 5 p.m. tomorrow. Number 9. Follow up on expectations, action plans, and deadlines, and document it. If you don't follow up, it shows that you don't care. And 10. Detail consequences. Describe the consequences of the behavior or poor performance continuing.